Good evening, my name is Peter Emmanuel. Good evening, my name is Peter Emmanuel.
Good evening, my name is Anne Joseph. Welcome to the church and the state.
This is your balanced government policies and politics against biblical standards.
And of course, it's always our joy to have you join us tonight. This is the church and the state, as we said. If you're joining us through our social media platform, feel welcomed. And as we always say, keep us engaged. Give us your commentaries. Throw in the question that you may be having concerning the topic. And also, if you're joining us on Signet via Spirit TV, you're welcome on the show. And I'm happy to see you again.
Another Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. How are you?
I am well. And you?
I am good.
Your week has been fine?
It has been fine.
The president has been around these areas?
Yes.
You had a chance or you were busy? You know, last time we talked, we said those who attend on a weekday.
Yes, I've not had a chance, but I've been catching up.
You've been catching up?
Yes.
Okay, on the TVs, on the social media, dailies.
Yes.
We have a housing project around, right?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
just few kilometers from where we are.
Hopefully when he bumps in there, it should be over a weekend where you can have a minute to go and step by.
That's right. How are you?
I am okay, among many other things we're going to discuss today. But meanwhile, allow me to tell our audience that is our social media platform on Facebook is Overflowing Wisdom with John CW. On X or Twitter, the hashtag is the church and the state. Remember to include @TeacherJohnCW. We will be sampling your questions and your comments and bringing them on the table of balance. But back to you, what else do we have lined up in the program today?
Oh yeah, thank you. As you know, here we are just discussing the matters that concerns you as citizen. That's why we have the table of balance. There are a lot of things that comes in throughout the week, and we get the expert to come and clarify and give us the voice of God concerning these matters. So we are going to have the table of balance. Later we are going to have the live audience together with you at home, ask questions that we are going to sample, as my brother said. And after that we are going to just know what is happening around the world. That is the world news. We're going to know about the sport news. We're going to know about the church activities. That's basically what we have lined up for you.
Absolutely. And also today, apart from the Mount Kenya visit and among the issues you're going to discuss in the Mount Kenya visit, one, the Sudan tea export issue. Yeah. Apart from the Sudan tea export issue, we also see the project launch that he has done, a number of project launches across the Mount Kenya region. We are also going to discuss the crowd, the turn-up. How was he received? Some have said people showed up, some then claimed that not really. At the same time also, we are going also to discuss, among many other issues, is General Karahiri and the NIS lead, that is Nudin Haj, the issue on Ruto must go.
Yeah, the chance.
Yes, the chance about the Ruto must go. We also have two other possible issues we're going to look at, US ban
Yes, concerning the ongoing Haiti mission,
Yes.
you understand that there has been unrest from the year 2021 after their president was assassinated.
Yeah.
And actually we have around, 900 military or police officers who have been deployed to that region.
Kenyan military.
Yes, and up to now, actually in the past 2 weeks, we have 2 police officers who have been returned to the country having lost their lives in the line of duty, and 1 that is missing. So we are going to go into the details if time allows us to know about the state, and also maybe concerning the threat that the Iran government is being issued by Donald Trump over the nuclear program. You remember they were to strike a deal so that they can make the measures more stricter.
Yes.
But Iran is saying if we have to do that, then you have to remove the sanction, and US is not about to bow. So we are going to get a lot to know about that.
Absolutely. And in studio with us, we also have the live audience. We'll give them a minute to say your name, where are you from, and what you do. We'll start with you, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Mark Justin Kamau, Irongo. I am from Muranga, Kiharo, and I'm a recovery coach, stroke psychologist. Thank you.
Karibu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Mary Wangoi. I'm from Nairobi County, into business.
Karibu, Mary. Good evening.
My name is Kuria Kenjeku from Lari. I'm a theater technician. I'm also a researcher. Thank you.
Karibu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Christine Karanja, and I'm a cosmetologist by profession. I live in Kenol, Muranga County. Thank you.
Karibu.
Yes, and actually, as we talked about those issues, you know why I love the expert that we have today, who has always been our visitor during some of the insights that have been stood out, not just in the country, but amongst the leaders of the nation. It's because of the topic that we have today. First, if it's about the visit, it has everything to do with governance and leadership.
Yeah.
And the expert that is coming in after this is a governance and leadership coach, giving his, government ideas and wisdom to different capacities of the people. We have talked about the peace mission.
Yes.
He also comes in the capacity of a priest, a person who is able to give guidance in regard to the word of God on how people should handle certain matters. We also know him as a family man. So when we have all these issues happening around, the world, he is able to give his wisdom, his counsel, first from the experiential angle, because he is a husband, he is a father, not only to his children, but also to many around the world. So we are just privileged to have Teacher John C.W. come to us and balance this matter.
Karibu. Let's welcome Mwalimu John C.W.
Very fine.
Well,
Thank
sir.
you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good to
Karibu.
see you.
Good to see you.
Karibu.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
He is well.
Well. Then, okay, how is your family? The family is well, too.
I'm doing well. Yeah, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm well.
You are colorful.
Yes, thank you.
Brother, how is Nigeria?
I'm Kenyan.
Oh, okay.
Just appreciating African culture.
Wow, it's nice.
You well?
I'm very well. I'm very balanced.
How has business been, right? Bearing in mind we have a lot of visits around the region where also I know you have invested in the Mount Kenya region. Did things stop?
It didn't stop because I was not intending to be a beneficiary. When you are on the opposite side, you expect few goodies. Things like I know our church might never receive the machine for chapels So nothing stopped. I'm not even aware. They are on this side.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
yeah?
on this side.
Wow, okay.
So
I'm too busy.
The group of Zilamon group of schools won't be having chapatis. The kids.
We actually had chapos yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
not the one, not the million.
We have human machines. You know,
I thought the visits were coming with them, sir.
you are trying to push me to a certain place, but let me be wise.
I'm just
Yeah.
we're just checking up on you.
I'm doing well.
On different acumen.
My family is doing well. My businesses are doing well. You know, when the Bible says, "Cast is the man that put his trust on another."
Oh, yeah.
I'm not the person that depends on anyone. I don't build a ministry and then I put my trust on who I know, like my father is a governor or rather the president is my friend. Those things don't matter to me. The Bible says I look up to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord. So the consistency of knowing and looking towards where help comes from is a proof that you'll always be well. So mine doesn't come from humans. So I'm doing well. I'm doing well. And my businesses are doing even better.
Well, we thank God. Maybe you can welcome the viewers. You greet them. You welcome them to the show.
Welcome viewers. I greet you. I welcome you to the show.
Thank you. Now, we on this issue of Mount Kenya. And one of the things that has come up is the launching of projects. And of course, there has been a mixed reaction because according to the interview that was done by the president, by the Mount Kenya leaders to the president, they were insinuating that a lot that was promised is not done. And the president was there to justify and show some records of things that has been done. And one of the things that maybe that I went to the media and also to the record to check is the issue of the coffee, where they were able actually to minimize the brokers and the beneficiaries are able to get better payment. So it's something that has passed in that regard. But also there has been other promises that were not delivered. So my question would be, when it comes to the leadership aspect, because you are a leader in your own aspect and major aspects, what can you say about a leader and his word? Because I think one of the reason why there are a lot of frustration, it's because of the promises that don't seem to be maturing, that don't seem to be, bringing forth the result. Maybe some of the projects are promised to be done in 100 days, but maybe we have 8 months down the line, but the promise is not there. And maybe the president, to speak on that, he said we have other authorities like Kenya, we have, the authorities. But again, the question is, before a leader can come out and speak of project and promises, what is the position of the word of a leader when it comes to him governing and, doing all the work that he is entrusted to do?
What makes God God is a scripture that I would request your team to put it. It is written that his promises are yes.
Amen.
And amen. So it means God does not make a promise until he knows he has the capacity to deliver the promise. The problem with election is that during election, you speak to be elected. You don't speak to work. So don't take, one thing I've learned is don't take it in your heart when a politician says things outside of office. What he's saying while in office is what he's saying. If he's lying while in office, that's what he's saying. If he's honest while in office, that's what he's saying. Because anytime people are trying to ascend to power, they can say anything. Part of the things that Satan did was lying.
Oh, yeah.
I will exalt my throne. I will make what? Above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High. All that we know is a lie. He knows he couldn't do it. So people really think that Satan was foolish enough to think he can go against God. Of course he knows he can't.
Oh, yeah.
He knows he can't. So the kingdom of darkness is built by lies. And you see this scripture, if you read it, it says, for all the promises of God in him are yes. All, not some. So this is what makes God God, because he will never promise and not deliver. So we see a deficiency in the delivery line of our leaders. And I've noticed something with our leaders. When they are asked, why didn't you do this? They say, this is what I did. We are not saying what you did not do. I mean, what you did. We are asking what you did not do. Now, let's take a case example. Affordable housing cannot be replaced. Cannot replace SHA.
That's true.
I mean, this is housing. This is housing and health. So how do they relate? They don't relate. And someone can say, oh, you know, Kenyans will never lack. Human beings don't lack an answer. So you can answer foolishly, and you can answer from what we are saying. The choice is yours who's listening. But you cannot say, we cannot be asking you why is SHA failing, and then you are responding by telling us, I've built houses. So how do houses treat people? I can own a house and still die because I lack medicine.
That's right.
Do you understand that? So I think when I look at this government, they are what you call substituting promises. When they came into power, they said this. I even saw a promise on diaper. I don't know if you remember. I was watching the other day that someone, he promised that at least 3 months, mothers will be given diaper.
Yes.
So then you come and say, I've built a dam. Excuse me. So where is dam and diaper coming in? So you cannot use the substitution law when it comes to proving your labor, or rather your work. If you say that you're going to do something, you're going to do that thing. God cannot say, in blessings I will bless you, and then you come and say, Lord, why didn't you bless me? And then he tells you, I'll give you life. The issue we are dealing with there is not life. The issue we are dealing with is blessing. So we have a way, our leaders have a tendency of substituting what they ought to have done and replacing it for what they think that Kenyans need. You know, one of the things I want to encourage our leaders, there is what you want to do, and there is what Kenyans want done.
They need.
So don't take a project that is not, Kenyans are not mature for that project. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't get a project. You cannot, you would rather sleep outside but be healthy. But you cannot take the issue of SHA and people are not able to pay their rent and you substitute it with affordable housing. Both of them should have worked. If you promise people affordable housing, make sure you do affordable housing. At the same time, make sure SHA is running. At the same time, make sure education system is running. I mean, that's why it's called a government. Don't say, like the former president, what do you want me to do? We want you to work. That's why we gave you that seat. We want you to work. So the problem here is that unlike us, God is a promise keeper. And one of the things the Bible says, by faith you do the things I did. Part of it is to keep your word. Don't say what you can't do. Never say, never under pressure say something that you know you cannot deliver. By the time you say something, and at least I try, by the time I say something, I know I will be able to deliver. It might take a little bit time, but I'll be able to deliver. But these people have a tendency of just going to... I sat some time with a leader in this nation on their side, and the leader confessed to me, I won't say much who, but the leader confessed to me that the leaders normally say things to create a reality in a certain community that's not there, so that they can have those people on their side. Because, I mean, let me ask you a question. What's the president doing outside now? Can anyone tell me? Those of you seated there, can anyone tell me? That's a president. We are on barely the beginning of the third year, I think. I don't even know. What are we doing now? Why are we on the road?
Launching ECD.
Projects.
ECD. Actually, I saw ECD.
Launching is not only launching, but they also say they are checking updates on where those projects have reached.
Then go there. Go to that project. We know there's nothing like launching. I mean, let's be more intelligent. Go to the project. If I'm launching a school, is Murang'a one school? If I'm launching Zilomon school, so you go to Zilomon school. If you are launching Old Moranga Road. So you go to Old Moranga Road. Why are you passing? Are you telling me that everywhere you are passing, you are launching something?
They say it's a tour of the region as you launch
tour
projects.
For what? What are you touring? Mount Kenya does not need a tourist. We need a good economy. So after touring, what have you changed? Are you telling me that in order for you to launch something, you must tour? I saw the cars. Who is fueling those cars?
The Kenyan taxpayer.
And you're telling me Kenyans have accepted that they want touring?
But
Who's
they are
fueling the
showing
cars?
up.
But
They
they're
are showing
showing
up.
up.
Yeah,
We are
of
seeing
course,
numbers.
in
Large
Kenyans,
numbers.
most of us are ignorant. Most of us are ignorant. So showing up, I told you, and especially on a weekday, that should make a leader sad. That
saw
if you have
women
50,000 people
Oh, yeah.
showing up on a weekday, what that means that county, or rather, can you imagine the whole of Mount Kenya, you go to 8 places and 50,000 people, for example, are showing up. Do 50 times 8.
That's almost 50,000.
Those are the amount of jobless people that are there. So if they are jobless, how many thieves will come out of there? How many murderers will come out of there? Because an empty mind is a devil's workshop. So how many people will come out of there? So it's a shame for you to hold a rally on a weekday and have a number like that. It's a shame. Because that tells you those people, most of them have nothing to do. Did you go? I know you have a fashion industry. How many times they pass by your area? Do you go?
No.
Why? Tell us why you don't go.
Schedules.
So it means all those people have no schedule. Do you go?
I don't
Why?
know. Busy.
Good. Say it.
I'm busy.
You are busy. Me too, I'm extremely busy. Because I know after that, my life has to continue. So all this is unnecessary now at this particular time.
Sir,
There is a better way for a leader to launch something. What this is a political, it's political shift. They are trying to just create relationship with the people that according to them they think they have lost. Whether they have lost them or not, I don't know. But I don't see a launch of anything.
Before the launch was launched, just to rebuttal on your sentiments, the president had a sit down with journalists from various TV stations and media stations.
I saw.
And one of the questions that he was asked was about the same thing you're from asking you, about being true to his word and things like that. And this is how he answered, just to rebuttal it. Just not using his words, but just reframing it. He said, he's a man of faith. And whatever he say, he believes it shall come to pass. That even the projects people are putting him on toes and say, you said this by 100 days. He said he has faith. And he said that too shall come to pass. That he's still the president and he still has time. He might have probably quoted different timings, 3 months will be done or 4 months, but he said he is a man of faith and before he's out of that seat, whatever he said shall be done. Is it not a fair rebuttal to say then his term is not yet up?
Planning is a very vital organ to succeeding.
Come up again?
Planning is a vital, planning is like, you know the way you have a heart, you have liver, you have intestine. So planning is a very vital organ of success. If you remove planning from success, you cannot have the body called success. If you remove planning, it's like removing the heart from the body.
Body dies.
The body dies. So planning is a very vital organ to any government that wants to be successful. Planning. Our government lacked planning in the beginning. All these problems they brought on themselves. Because Kenyans had given them an opportunity, the church had given them an opportunity. I mean, religious leaders, think about the young and the old. We had believed all they needed to do is to plan the opportunity, to plan. You want 10 years, what can be doable in 5? You plan it. Number 1, education. Number 2, health. Number 3, security. Number 4, housing. I wouldn't even focus on housing. My thought on housing would probably be on the 4th year going. I would focus on what is first, life and death. You cannot look at housing and health and put them on the same category. I mean, health is health. You get what I'm saying? So I feel our government lacked planning. They never saw planning as a vital organ. So they just started putting people on platforms. CS for this. You clearly see they have no knowledge on that thing. CS for this, CS for this. They started rewarding people rather than planning a nation. So I saw a reward system. After they actually went for power, I remember I'm one of the very few people, I don't want to say much. There are things I'm wise enough not to say. But if I wanted to benefit, when I saw there was a planning that was not falling into place, either we started doing prayer rallies. So they started seeing Christians as only people that can pray. I did not say as people that can pray. I used the word only people that can pray. And I told you this kingdom has prayer, but this is not a kingdom of prayer. As powerful as prayer is, as powerful as fasting is, as powerful, many are the plans. There is place for planning. To understand the counsel of God, Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plan. One of the things that makes God God is promise keeper. Number 2 is planning. Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans that I have for you. So if you don't understand the need to plan according to plans from God, then you lose a nation. They never planned the nation.
So even asking for saying, giving time, do not say he has not done before he's done. We can already say there's a lack of planning.
There's a lack of planning. You don't need to be given time. You could have taken according to your what you call your manifesto. What was the priority on your manifesto? Why would Kenyans at how old is our independence?
We are
60 years plus.
60.
Why would we be speaking about SHA? 60 years of independence, surely.
Do you think the 2 years left before you get to 2027, those things still will not have been taken?
Fine. And then what do you do even if they have? So what do you do with dead people?
Well, people will have been dead by then.
How do you compensate dead families? If SHA would have been categorized well, we would not have lost anyone. So how do you compensate those dead people? And please don't tell me pay their families. That's not what I'm asking. Because I'm not talking about families. I'm talking about those dead people. How will you bring them back to life? Because of your lack of planning causes death. When you lack planning, you can cause death. The reason why you go to school is for planning. You plan to succeed. So you begin to put the necessary measures to guarantee your success. Success doesn't happen success is not a mist or a myth. It requires planning.
So you don't just stumble into success.
You don't just stumble into success. Show me what you're doing today, and I'll guarantee you what you'll be tomorrow. You are lazy today, you'll be poor tomorrow. So the government lacked planning. So they started doing what they want, not what they should. You know, there's a difference. Even God himself, the Lord, the Bible stops you from wanting. Can I prove for you? The Lord is my shepherd. The proof of that shepherd, I shall not want. Because why? He maketh me lie down. He has planned. He maketh me lie down. He restores my... Yeah, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Does that sound like a God that is waiting for events to know you? Or is a God that has planned you? Presidency is about planning. Governance is about planning. So it is a fallen nation if leaders cannot plan. And by the way, I hope you know you can plan to fail. Can I tell you how you can plan to fail?
Tell us.
Do nothing.
Failing to plan.
Yeah, just do nothing. Just fail to plan, and you have planned to fail. So they did not plan the nation. I tried shouting. I remember. That's why I'm saying, forget our Gen Z. They just came the other day. I started shouting alone. Those same young people, some of them were like, no, this is not right. You can't say. Later on is when they came to see. I started shouting from the time we won. I remember I started shouting to our leaders, fine, do crusades. Do you know how prayerful I am? Do you know how... I just came today, I locked myself today in the office, till now in the evening, seeking the face of the Lord. This has nothing to do with prayer. But it's planning. When it's time to heal the sick, go heal the sick. It's not time to close yourself in the room and pray and be religious. Go heal the sick. The Bible says he woke up early to pray, then he healed the sick. He went and labored. So we have a government, and when I try to share these things, I'm like, fine, now the church is in a very tight space. They know that the church has helped to win this election. So whatever we do will paint an image of the future. Either the church will be rejected or accepted by the people to that regard. So I started seeing a lot of crusades, a lot of what, and I was like, no, let's not be known for this. But when I say that statement, someone that just refuses to understand what I'm saying, They will think that we are prayer. You come here. We even have a function we've run for over 2 years called the Praying Generation. You come close to me. You see the men have produced of prayer. It has nothing to do with prayer. There is a labor aspect to our kingdom. And that's what I was fighting for. To prove that as the body of Christ, we have the capacity to bring a nation to rest in terms of spirituality, and not just spirituality, financially, mentally, emotionally, economically. We have as the church what it takes to bring a nation to rest. But we decided to take the praying aspect. And then we did not balance, because in prayer we know the mind of God. When are we acting his mind? So when I started saying these things, we need to balance the nation. We need to balance the nation. Look what the church became. We became a laughing stock. And I shouted. Then we now came to governmental seats. I said, you remember, I sent a warning. Do not put people in power because they helped you win an election. Give them resources, pay them for all we care. But positions are gates. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I started speaking about the gates. These are gates. Don't just give someone just because they helped you to win. I have people here that serve with me. I know strengths. Believe me, our ministry runs in the thousands of people. Globally, we have so many people that maybe even we might never meet. And I know people here. They think I don't know them. I know the strengths of many people here. I know a person that would not be that right person to stand on that altar to speak unless they are groomed to some level. Then I know people that win on the background. I know people that can stand and do, like when we were doing this program, when we started the program. I mean, for you to be hosts, are you telling me you are the only people that are close to me?
No.
What did I say? Because I'm the one that looked for you. I said, Emmanuel and Anne. That means what? There is something I know. So when you know that, then you begin to put people in positions of power because of their capacity to deliver, not their relationship with you. And that's why yesterday or the day or last week I said, a leader should not have permanent friends.
Oh, yeah.
A leader cannot afford permanent friends. Only afford destiny friends. That the minute you shift your goalpost, I shift you. So now you see the people around the president that shifted the goalpost. He should have shifted them, but he chose relationships over Kenyans. Now look where we have landed. And these are the things we are trying to balance, because I knew the church was at the center of this thing. So let us not only be known by prayer, but let us be known by prayer, let us be known by fasting, let us be known by our economic intelligence, let us be known by our perspective in terms of dealing with, tribal wars, in terms of dealing with debts of the nation. Have you ever seen a pastor being called there to discuss that?
No.
So let me ask you a question. What will Sudi advise the president that I cannot advise him? What will Messrs. Kuri advise the president I cannot advise him? How comes pastors, we did not want to push to the seat? I even say that, ask many pastors listening to me. What's the GDP of their nation? Many don't even know the meaning of the name GDP, what it stands for. What's the GDP? Gross Domestic Product. What's the GDP? How many of them know that apart from us waiting for offering and tithe, how many of them know what their members do? How many pastors know? How many have a record? How many know that now, today, the US government has imposed 10%
duty
tariffs on all imports into the US.
Yeah.
How many pastors know how many people have been affected in their churches? How many of us know? But we are good in tithes, we are good in preaching offering, we are good in preaching tithe, but we are not good in equipping our people. I challenge, how many pastors know what that means? Because there are people in our church, like in our church, there are people that do export. I understand, because I understand the GDP. One of the biggest ones is horticulture, right? The GDP of Kenya, what forms like approximately 34%, right? So how many of us know as pastors? When I remember we spoke with him, I was electing him so that at least we can sit and speak on behalf of young people. You see, they have a meeting with young people and then they bring 55-year-olds and they are youths now. They brought people to see the leader of the nation. You remember the pastors? How many young pastors did you see there? Yet we are the ones that know the mind of our people. We know these young people. We know how their minds think. They don't think the way they think. But when you make a statement, they don't want to hear. Me, that's why I was electing him. I thought we'd have an opportunity to sit down and say, Mr. President, before you launch this SHA, make sure you have this and this and this in place. And as a leader, it's dangerous to only have friends advising you. It's very dangerous as a leader to only have friends. I mean, what options do they have? They will only tell you what you want to hear because they can't challenge you. But when someone, you have people that are your friends, then you listen to critics too. Inside the critics' world, there is truth. Inside the world of a critic, there is something they're saying. So the best thing you can do, instead of neglecting the critic, try and listen to what that person is saying. Why are they complaining? They are complaining about SHA. Create a body, put the best doctors, recall retired doctors. Sorry, I know you want to say something, but recall retired doctors, recall them. Just like I remember he recalled General Ogola before he died?
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
CDF.
Yeah, he was recalled because you remember he was supporting the other side.
Yes.
Then he went, that's what you do. You come up, you want something that works like SHA. Don't launch something without studying. Study to show yourself approved. If you want ever to be approved, invest in the studying of that thing. Then they should have recalled doctors that are 70-year-old, 80-year-olds and sit them down and tell them, this is what I want. I want a product that can work. And if that product does not work, I will arrest all of you. It's not a game. Don't play with the lives of people. You, if it was your mother that died because of SHA, now you can't feel it because you have no one close to you that is dead. Don't play with the lives of people. And then you see politicians politicizing health. How foolish is that? That people are coming online complaining that this thing is not working. Instead of you as a leader saying, wait, don't politicize it and say, can you find out the hospitals that are claiming A, B, C, D are not working? Because again, some hospitals are wicked. Some hospitals will just be used politically to withhold something so that the government can be seen. We are not foolish. But at least you would have taken that too. Then you would have arrested the right people, the people that are doing that. But now you politicize something. You come up on TV and say, wanasema haifanyi. See, what are you saying? What are you saying? And this is the one thing I've learned. Kenyans, don't elect a politician. Elect a leader. A leader is very different from a politician. Because a politician wants to be there for his gain. A leader wants to be there for the gain of others. And this is one thing that I've learned. There is no planning in this nation. Everything thrives on planning. Come inside here. You see Zilomon is on its own place. You see the church is in its own place. You see Spirit Television is in its own place. You see Supreme Water Company is in its own place. But you just come here, and all that started with what? The church. When I was building this church, I left those places intentionally because there was what had gone ahead of action. Planning goes before action. Can I repeat the statement? Planning goes before action. So don't just move to implement something you have not thoroughly planned for. You have a fashion industry. I saw you are helping one of my little sisters and she's really learning. But she told me that before she begins to sew, she has to draw the dress.
Yes.
So what do you call the drawing? Planning. So you will always see the reality by the planning. So what Kenya is the reality of the absence of planning. So all Kenya needs now is to introduce planning. Plan the nation. Plan resources. Plan this, plan health, plan education, plan it. But don't come here and start saying we want a tour. We don't need a tour. We do not need a tour. And that's why I feel like to some degree there is a selfishness to this tour. Because it's a way of getting the region's vote. That's what I'm saying. Because on this year, or this time, Kenyans have problems. We don't need you here. We need you delivering the work that you are called to deliver. I repeat again. The problem is, in as much as we have done this and this and that, we are outside what? Planning.
Wow. Thank you so much for that insight. Planning is a very key element, as you have heard, when it comes to leadership. We're going to take a very short break, and when we come back, we're going now to go deeper into the conversation. Stay tuned.
Here's Odegaard's exchanging passes with Rice, and now Marino! He's growing into the role, isn't he?
Funga nani, funga. Wameongezea odds. Funga. Cheza na Odegaard. Patia Odegaard. Twende Odegaard. Twende Odegaard. Funga. Twende. Ndio pesa. Funga bana.
His Hoylands. Denied by a brilliant sliding challenge.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Sana kibakishia nini? Nini? Pesa yangu imeenda.
Imeenda wapi? Ni nini?
Pesa yangu imeungua. Bet imeungua.
Kwa nini una bet?
Why do you people bet? Betting is not a guaranteed investment.
Have you not heard Wallap Sacco is now open to men?
Wallap Sacco?
Yes, you can now join Wallap Sacco and start the impeccable journey to financial freedom. Enjoy up to 3 times your saving at an interest of only 15% per annum. To become a member of Wallap Sacco, you need to buy 1 share, which is 1 share capital of 2,500 Kenya shillings only. For more information, you can call us on 0114-838-549 or visit our website www.wallapsacco.com. Wallap Sacco, your partner in financial growth.
Welcome back. The show is The Church and the State, and allow me to dig straight back to the conversation we had with the expert on the show. Today you've really pondered on planning, and failing to plan is planning to fail. But then again, I go back to the same interview because that seems to be the highlight of the week that we had. And in the interview, one of the journalists also asked and said, the rate at which we are changing cabinet secretaries, it is so fast to an extent even he himself as a journalist, being his job, when he could be asked who is the next, who is the CS of water or the CS of, forestry, he made a joke and he said he cannot comprehend, he cannot even have the ability to tell the current CS of a certain department because the rate at which CS are being, interchanged. And I remember the president made a joke and said, because it could be you are failing your work as the journalist, your work is to understand who is the CS of what and not him saying that he's changing the CSs at a very short interval of time. You've been talking about planning. Would you think that really depicts or displays a lack of planning, or is it a case of he wears the shoe and he understands what Kenya deserves best? Because as a sign of retaliating, he said during Kibaki's time he changed CSs over a period of time, and he still delivered. Is it a case of he wears the shoe and he knows how it hurts, or is it a case of poor planning, like how the journalist?
Poor planning. By the time you remove this one, you watch and see the replacement, then you know it's the old system. It's something to do with regional politics. It's the old system. Are you telling me there are no young people in those places? Are you telling me that there are no young people? Dubai has a ministry of AI. What does that tell you? Where is the world going? How many of those old people, many of them even know what is AI? Lack of planning. You should have come and say, I want 40% of my government to be young people. 20% of my government to be young people. You plan before you actualize it. Then who am I really looking for? So this is what happens when you reward friends with positions they don't deserve. And I understand it's politics. I mean, it's showing that. But those regions, Meru as a county, has very brave people. Murang'a as a county have very brave people. Talk about Eldoret, talk about all those places. So if you want to bring a nation together, why is it that it has to be the same people? Why? Why the same people that was a governor? What is he bringing on the table now? Why him?
Maybe experience.
Experience.
They would
What
say.
experience?
Say the
What
same.
experience? Please, come on. What experience? What experience? Him, was he born a president?
No, but
So
he
when you
says-
reject other people, fine, put this one as a minister, then assistant minister, a young person. What experience are you saying? So these young people, what opportunity do they have to find experience? Because when you're looking for a job, do you notice 10-year experience? What? And they don't create opportunities for that experience. Where are you expected to work to gain experience? This is the question I want to ask. Oh, but we have experience in electing people. During elections, experience is hanged on the wall. But the only time there is an issue is during implementing.
Yeah.
No, that cannot be true. This is regional politics. When I just look, I see regional politics. And you cannot tell me that in that county, it is only a former governor that has experience. Are you joking? How many lecturers that have retired? Okay, let's even take the case study of old people. How many old people have retired with experience? Why him? Why the former governor of Kiambu? I challenge him. Why the former governor of Machakos? Are you telling me the whole of Machakos could not produce anyone experienced more than Anaitwa Tanani? Because they keep changing so fast, you don't even know.
You also forgotten
who is the person now. Are you telling, what's his name? The former governor.
CS Alfred Mutua.
Mutua. Are you telling me that in Machakos County, the best Machakos can produce is Mutua? Is that what you're telling me? It's politics. It's regional politics. Are you telling me, for example, come to ni wapi pengine walifanya Kiambu? Are you really telling me that in the IT department you have gone through campus, people that are IT experts, people that do major things in this nation? I have some young guys in the church. One of them, I would have wanted him to be here. Men, the IT department, these people, forget, they make things that are unimaginable. But by the time they go to this office, they ask for this money, they ask corruption in this nation. Are you really telling me that is the best person to have been in that city? Kiambu could not produce anyone apart from Kabogo. Is that what you're saying?
Actually, they had rejected him because he was voted out. And members of Kiambu County didn't want him. So I don't know if at a county level he could not deliver. I don't know why they entrusted him at national level. He was able to do much better. I don't know.
Is that it? So we have what you call politics, not leadership. Because in leadership, you identify the best for the work.
Sticking to the Mount Kenya visit, the president said a statement concerning tea. And initially, one of the journalists asked, and which was true, was that Sudan had imposed a ban on the tea issue. And he said, despite the ban, Khartoum still consumes
our tea.
Still consumes a bigger majority of our tea. He said despite the ban that is affecting the Mount Kenya region, because we know the tea farmers are mostly from this region, he said Khartoum still consumes a bigger margin of our tea. The same week, the Sudan government came out and said Khartoum does not, in any case, and it really assured the people and said
from March,
that Khartoum does not consume Kenyan tea and the ban is still there.
From March, I think 20-something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the interview was during the same week when he said, when he was asked the question about the Sudan ban on the tea, yet he said it still consumes our tea. But then the Sudan government also, during the same week again, raised out issues and said no, that there still is a ban on the tea, on the Kenyan tea, and it does not consume. What is your thought on that?
Where there are many words, forget my thought. What's the stand of the scripture? Where there are many words, sin lacketh not. Can the media department put that? Let our leaders see this.
So do you say the Mount Kenya region citizens, in short, the tea farmers, they were duped, or the truth is?
What I'm saying, first of all, you know how bad it looks when a president of a nation says something, and it's not once. Germany did the same thing. Yes, Germany countermeasured our president's word. Do you remember?
Yeah.
In terms of the labor export. What did Germany come out and say? Then Khartoum. I mean, who's telling our president these things? Because someone has fed the president.
That's true.
That's the person he should fire, because he's making him look bad. Khartoum is coming out and saying, we are not consuming. You know how bad that looks for the president? Now, this is for our leaders. Can you read for them?
In the multitude of words, sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise.
This is what members of parliament, this is a verse I would give our politicians in Kenya. We are in a hurry to say things. Tutajenga, tutafanya. A wise man restrains his lips. It means you need to have a time where you just keep quiet. If you don't have an answer, keep quiet. Or don't appear in public. You know very well you are going to this place and you meet a media team. And then you are saying things that you are not sure of. And you are the leader of the nation. Then now Khartoum comes out and says something contrary to what you are saying. Do you know how bad that sounds? That's not a... Don't play with a president. That's the face of the nation. So the nation is considered to look like the leader that serves it. So why would you come out and say that? Then Khartoum just comes out from nowhere, actually, and said from 25th, I think, 20-something March, they stopped consuming. That means he is not up to date. What he's saying probably is before March. Either him or Khartoum are lying.
What do you think is lying?
He said he understands the ban. He said he understands that they are saying the ban is there, but still they are taking our tea.
Then somebody is lying. So now it's a fight of now two leaders of nations that don't know what they are doing.
Don't you think don't Kenyans see, like this should be something that should alert Kenyans? Is it that they don't see, or is it that they are carried away with the number of activities?
I think Kenyans are still in tribal politics. Kenyans see where you come from, not what you're doing. We need to enter a place where we see what you're doing, not where you're coming from. You know, for me as John C.W., I don't care where you're coming from. I challenged you and I told you, the people that are helping me around me, I don't like calling him the name my driver, but the person that is helping me move around, he's from the Jaluo land. Is it called Luo or Luya? Luo land. The person that helps me on a daily, or rather close to me, helps me to do some few things here, is from Eldoret. Is that Wasingishu or what?
Yes,
Uko County.
Yeah.
Then me, I'm from this county. You get what I'm saying? You cannot look at people based on where they're coming from. The reason why he drives me is his capacity to drive, not where he's coming from. The reason why this other one serves because of his capacity to serve, not where he's coming from. I don't care where they're coming from. And this is the problem of us. We tend to forget things very quickly. Now, the other day we were fighting for a budget that we did not like. Now, the same as to some degree are beginning to fight each other. Now, it has been changed to Mount Kenya. Watu wanajifanya. When did we get there? Because we still need to outgrow regional politics, tribal politics, and elect people based on their capacity to deliver, not where they're coming from.
Talking of regional politics and tribal politics, you know, today the president was visiting I think Nyandarua and some other region, and there was an incident, something that came up during the Nyandarua visit, because when the president was speaking, the people were receptive. Actually, they were just calm, and they didn't have any issue with him as a president. But when the majority, he stood to speak, you know, people were heckling on him and they were shouting, no, we don't want to hear you. Also, Faith Getao, I am from Nyandarua. She is from there. And we have always loved her, and she has been voted and voted. But this time, people are saying no. So would you still call that regional politics? Because someone who is not a part of that region, they are not shouting at him. That is the president. But the people who are from within, people are feeling, no, you cannot speak to us.
You take 10 good tomatoes, put it on a crate, and then you add one bad one. What happens? Do the good ones have the ability to influence this bad one to be good? Or when it's bad, it's bad?
The bad one has...
So that is the, or rather you take one good tomato and you put it among 10 bad ones. What will happen?
They're all bad.
They all go bad.
The good tomato becomes bad. So there are regions, there are places where slowly by slowly we are beginning to embrace the right kind of leadership, or rather the right kind of politics. You get that? When you begin to see that, but clearly, how many, if you take the whole Kenya, what percentage are you giving that reality?
Very small.
It's still very minimal compared to the way Kenya is looking like. So there are those little aspects where you are seeing people rejecting this because of this, people rejecting this, but still that rejection in my mind, it's not really complete. When I really look at it, it can still be turned. I don't know if you're getting it. If you just find the catch, there is a way you can rewind that reality. Then you now find the same person that they are heckling, they support. That's why I'm saying it's not necessarily what they are doing on ground. It's the state of their mind that you can tell, apana, this no. So it's not necessarily, no, that's not the issue. That's not a proof that Kenya wants to change. Although there is a dimension of it to some degree. But the real proof is what people are really doing. If you still have 10,000 people on a weekday going to sit down and listen, that should tell you there is a problem. Unless you prove to me they have taken, a leave from their work. That means they are not working. So what option are they left with?
Well, that could be their work. They are paid for that.
It could be their work. It could be someone has brought some people to heckle them. That's why I'm saying you can't use what's really on ground to measure the weight of reality. It is only measured during the casting of the vote. So you can shout all you want, you can do all you want, but during the casting of the vote, money will be poured. That's what will tell you your mind is not ready. So you are just shouting for a reason, but your mind will... Look, the mind of Kenya will be known. Is it August?
August 2027.
2027 August. We will know the mind of Kenya.
Talking about that, there's a discussion you're having with Anne.
That's right.
I think Anne will ask the question then. Talking about the mind of Kenya, we'll know. On general...
Yes, Kaharili, because the question was, Bishop, when CDF, General Kaharili, talked and said that you who are chanting over Ruto must go, you should not do it, and you should wait for election where you can do it constitutionally. There were a lot of uproar, from leaders, especially the opposition and people who are not in support of this government. And maybe you can give us that clip. We hear what really he said, and we dissect and see what is the cause of the uproar that is happening in the nation, because people are saying you are, going against democracy. But again, he is saying, by saying Ruto must go, as a CDF, he is in charge of ensuring the security. Chief, of defense forces, he is, supposed to ensure that there is peace. Having that, we have neighbors like Sudan who have unsettlement in their country. We have DRC Congo. He would hate to be part of, Kenya to be part of such, quagmire.
And we also saw Nudin Haj, the lead NIS.
Yes.
He also echoed the same sentiments. And he said, if you talk about must go, then, and sir, some few minutes ago, you've also told us the minds of Kenyans will be known on August, on 2027. Will this be a similar case then, even for the general to come out and say, hey, you who are chanting and heckling, that wait for the right time? Or do citizens have a right to democracy as a country?
Do we have the clip before I write?
So wakati watu wanaamua kwamba tumechoka na hii serikali na mulichagua wenyewe, alafu mnasema must go, that must go must be done according to the constitution. Si ni kweli?
Akirejelea kibwagizo,
that is this in two aspects. When people shout or when citizens cry, is there an issue, underlying factor? Or could this be what the general is saying is right, that you have no right or to say that or to chant whatever it is and wait? Or could it be an alert?
First of all, I want to, it's called General Kahariri. I want to echo some words to our general. I want to correct him on the statement he has made. And the statement is, that's for lack of a better word, that's pissing on Kenyans by making that statement. Sini nyinyi muliwachagua. That statement alone is devoid of wisdom. Because what you are saying is, you are the one that chose them, you can't say that. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever brought in a friend at your home and then eventually they stole something and left with it? Or rather you employed someone, you especially, and then they stole from you?
Yes.
Okay, so did you employ a thief or you employed a person hoping that they are not this? Did you employ a thief or they became a thief in the process?
I employed him based on qualifications.
Good. So now, did you employ a thief?
No.
When you're employing him, was your intention, were you looking for a thief?
No.
So the person that was applying was not a thief. He was a totally different person from what you are expecting. That statement lacks wisdom. You can't say you are the ones that chose him. The reason why I'm saying we did not choose corruption. We chose the end of corruption. So I want our general to don't confuse those two words. We did not choose the leaders we are seeing today. We chose the leaders we expected in our hearts. Now, he should bear in mind that looking at the people saying that, it's not politics. And by the way, let me explain something to you. The one thing I like about the younger generation, we have not yet been politicized to some degree. Yeah, there is an age bracket that you can tell politics has ended in their mind. I don't see Gen Zs yet being caught by the net of politics yet. We have not, even if to some degree you are seeing a little bits of it, but it's not to the degree like, let me use the case study of like approximately 45-year-olds and above, or 40-year-old and above. You don't see that reality, or rather that weight of that net on 20-year-olds and early 30-year-olds. You get what I'm saying? So what these people are saying in the stadium is not politics. It is the state of their mind. So the wise leader should pick the mind of the people and ask, what can I do to change this reality? And power is not one of them. You don't change a nation with power. You change a nation with wisdom. It's one of the things, the first thing that Solomon asked for. After sacrifice, God came to him and said, ask anything. He says, give me wisdom. And the reason for that is recorded, that I may govern your people. So governance requires wisdom, not power. Do you get what I'm saying? So the fact that you're seeing those young people playing football and then they're saying so and so must go here and there, that should not be something to be responded to by military force, but by wisdom. How can I change? Because you see, when a person is young, the mind is still young. It means the mind can be changed. We can change the mind of these young people by doing the right thing, not paying them. So already by making that statement, it doesn't have ground. It's you telling me, si waniwendo limuita kwa nyumba. So uko unajua ni mwizi, si ni wewe ulimuita kwa nyumba. Kwa hivyo acha akae kwa hiyo nyumba endelee kuiba. You are the one that called him to that house. You did not call a thief, you called a friend. That eventually you left your phone on the table, then automatically the gift, I don't know if you call the gift, one of his capacities manifested in your house. So then the question should be, should you chase the thief or keep the thief because you invited them? What option are you, what do you think you should do in your case study? Should you chase the thief that you invited a friend, but they became a thief? Should you chase the thief or keep the thief until an opportunity to let him go by law?
I will just eject.
Or will you say, I'm waiting for a court order to remove you from my house? Are you saying, so 2027 is the order that will remove the people that we feel are not the right ones? But in the meantime, we are saying that this is not the right thing. So to respond by power is lack of wisdom. To make a statement like that and say that it's you that chose them, that is urinating on a nation. We did not choose them. We chose who they currently were, not who they currently are. Get a difference. We chose who they currently were, not who they currently are. Kenyans chose people on the grounds of, we want a better Kenya. That's why they chose. Why didn't they say that statement in the beginning? When he was the darling of UN, do you remember? Yes. Why didn't he come out and congratulate Kenyans for behaving? Why are you coming out to congratulate Kenyans? I mean, to stand and say Kenyans are misbehaving. When everything was peaceful, did he come out and say Kenya is in a peaceful state? So you can't come out as a leader and make such unnecessary statements that you are the one that chose them. We did not choose corrupt people. We chose people to end corruption, and we have the right. Number two, that leader should know something. And please, let that person keep the integrity of the military. One of the most, or rather, the last arm of national defense. You need to know that. It's not a game. It's military. The last arm of national defense is military. And the Kenya military has accorded themselves the highest honor.
Yes.
Because they do not necessarily involve themselves in what doesn't count to some degree. So they should not start now. They need to understand this. Within the constitution that he's saying, that thing that he's saying is true. But also what is true is right to picket. It's in the constitution that he sought to protect. Another thing that is true in that is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. So what he should do is not to tell people to stop, but how to bring all these things to work together within the law. You get what I'm saying? Within the law. Kenyans too should understand something.
Yeah.
Don't just say things for the sake of saying. So must go. Go where? If many of them are asked what is the reason that they should go, what reason would you produce? Many don't even know why he's going. So some people just joyride on realities. Go where?
And who should come?
What's the replacement? I spoke about that a while back. What's the replacement? And what I'm thinking of now is not who's going, but who's coming. Because in the process of thinking about who should go, the replacement might be a superior devil. Then you end up losing a nation worse. I saw, is it South Sudan or Sudan? That now the vice president is under house arrest, I think. He was under house arrest, and now he's actually arrested in the completely because he did not bring his military when there was an agreement. I think that's what I was reading. I don't know how accurate it was. That, you know, he has his own military. So when they came together, he hid specific people in the military. Then now it was considered by the president. So you have two people fighting. Why would a nation allow two people to bring it down? Do you know, my brother, my sister, do you know the minerals in Sudan? Have you ever studied? Do you know what Sudan right now? Do you know Kenya and Sudan in terms of that? Do you know, you think Kenya can come close?
Is it oil money?
Do you have, forget oil. Do you know the minerals that are in that nation? Where they are fighting? 82 people, a whole 54 million Kenyans cannot think for themselves that two people can allow Kenyans to divide the nation, for example. Just me sometimes I sit and I wonder, what power have we given to these leaders that we cannot think for ourselves? Someone comes and tells you, kill her. She has been your neighbor. All of a sudden, during an election, is when now she has become bad. You don't have a brain of your own. You don't have your mind. You don't have your eyes for you to see that this person is lying. This person he wants what is wrong for the nation. And these are the things that we are saying. So whatever that general is saying, to some degree, it has weight. But what the mistake I've seen is you are the one that chose them. We did not choose who they are. Mr. Kahariri.
Yes.
We chose who they were, at least what they told us. And if what they did is what they told us is what they were doing, then you should not be experiencing this must go issue. So you cannot just wake up and speak words without wisdom. Kenya lacks leaders that, we speak then we think. We don't think then we speak. So you cannot use military now. Kenyans are not the enemy of Kenya. They should be using this power to go after people that we know obviously have stolen. I mean, let me ask you, how many people have stolen from Kenya and are alive? And they know them.
Many.
You should use that power to go and arrest them. But you wait until you steal a chicken now. See how much army will come up to you. And then you'll be arrested. Just go to ourselves. You meet how many people, little things. People with big problems because they have a way of going to court. They know they will receive a bond. Then they come out and fight. Then the lawyers will go 21 years. The person died. We lack this integrity. We have people. And I want to encourage our leaders. Please, before you speak, think. Don't say words like this. He's saying to some degree the right thing. There should be, the Bible says that we should honor those that are in authority. But equally speaking, it says those that are in authority, or rather fathers, do not provoke your children. The problem in Kenya now is a problem of provoking. You come out and say there should be no money given to churches. Then you come out and do it. You come out and say that corruption, then you are known for it. You come out and say we are not the opposite of what you are saying. In fact, we are the factory that produces these things. And then now you want to come and use military power. You can't do that. You can't do it. Kenyans elected a Kenyan and Kenyan leaders. They have the right to put them in check. If you are a wise leader, you should listen to their sound and say, why is it that the same people that came out, Doraku means ant. So many people that I went to vote in Matu. Na nimebeba familia. Just imagine where I went, Matu. And I was there at 2 a.m. Ulienda kuvote wapi?
Nyandarua.
You went to Nyandarua. You, where did you go? Kehiomwere. Uko. Where the hearts
from
are
Nairobi,
very hot.
early in the morning.
Why were you going? How old were you when you started voting? I mean, when you voted for him. Tell him. Where is your camera? Tell him how old you are. Auntie, tell him how old you are.
That should have been minus 3 years.
Yeah. How old were you?
That should have been 25.
So let me ask you a question. At 25 years, what were you doing in Kehiomwere? You know what Kehiomwere means?
I still do have hope for this country.
No, wait. What took you there at that time at 24, 25 years? Tell the president what took you there. Tell him.
To go vote. To go vote. To
No, that's not what took you there. Voting is not what took you there. Voting is the result of what took you there.
For a better Kenya.
For a better Kenya.
Yes.
At 24, 25.
Yes.
25
years of age.
For a better Kenya.
Yes.
25, you want a better Kenya. You, how old were you?
I was 25 as
You
well.
were 25.
Yeah.
At 25, you want a better Kenya. Do you get what I'm saying? Were you crazy voting? So who did you believe was the better Kenya?
Who did I believe?
At that point,
the
for
vote
you
I
to
casted?
cast your vote, who did you believe in was the better Kenya?
I'll be sincere and honest. Not really did I believe in the current regime.
Okay, so fine. When you went to vote, you believed that someone was going to be for the better Kenya.
Yes. Yeah.
If that, so your belief is what made you vote.
Yes.
So when that vote, in order for that vote to be relevant, the belief must be there.
Yes.
That what you saw, what you thought, you are seeing it.
Yes.
So what then changes is what you desired, you are no longer seeing it. So
Yes.
all you need to do is to correct. Just to correct, not power. Correct. That sit down with people and ask them, what do you want here in Mount Kenya? Mina shanganga na watu uongo ni ya nini? What do you need here in Mount Kenya? We need A, B, C, D. Don't come, you don't address the mountain on top of a car. This is not a game. There are families involved. There are schools involved. There are industries involved. There are business involved. You don't address them on top of a car. If you want to change an economy or rather a county, you sit down and you invite specific people. You invite the poor class, you invite the rich class, you invite the middle class, you invite the doctors. You have a meeting that is what you call complete. Then you now ask critical questions. But you don't stand on top of a car there. Nilisema nitajenga. Sasa hiyo ni unatuambia. You stand and ask the doctors, Is SHA working here? It's not working. How many hospitals are in Murang'a County? How many hospitals is SHA working? How many hospitals is SHA not working? Minister of Health, Smama, give me a report by tomorrow why it's not working. It's not a game. You go to the industries. What is stopping the industry? Either high taxation. What can we do to improve the industrialization of Murang'a County? Or rather, Meru, or rather, Mwea, or whatever, Embu, all those places in the mountain. You sit critically with the people. You don't change anything on top of a car. That's politics. You never change anything on top of a car. You want to change a place, invite everyone. Have the young people listen to everyone. Forget the tea, because some of these people, the amount like you saw. Did you see, I think, which governor? They bought soda for how many millions? Soda.
They are welcoming
Soda,
him.
for God's sake. Aende kule ametoka wa mgeni. Soda. You have no shame. You go and buy soda for that amount of money. And then those people you are meeting with, they don't bring anything to your county. No infrastructure to the county, no technology to the county. Then you want to address, you can't change anything on top of a car. That's politics. You sit down with the relevant people. Sit down with all nurses. You take 2, or rather, for every particular docket, have 4 people or 10 people. Young people have them. Young people in the mountain. Kwa nini amunipendi? Why is it that you are heckling? What have I done? We don't like you because of this one and this one and this one. So if I replace them, why don't you like them? They don't work for us. You replace the people. Don't have permanent friends. This is what I'm shouting at. And sometimes when you speak this truth, people don't hear what you really mean. People hear what they want to hear. You get what I'm saying? What is the reason for me doing this show? Tell me, how much are we being paid by anyone? What are we receiving for this show? I can as well decide I have a church, I have a school, Kenya can go wherever Kenya wants to go. What am I gaining?
As a person,
what am I gaining?
You are giving.
I'm giving everything. Because we want a better Kenya. You at 25, you're hoping for a better Kenya. Can you imagine at another 25 years, you don't have it? You are 50, my brother. You actually be 50-something. If you do nothing about it now, you are 20-something, we will be 50-something 25 years to come. Then now you'll have children that are crying for a better Kenya. So this same cycle will repeat. Kenyans did not elect the current leaders as they are. Kenya elected as they were at that particular time. They were hoping for a better nation. They were hoping for a better economy. They were hoping for peace. They were hoping for roads. They were hoping for transport. They were hoping for education. They were hoping for health. They were hoping for that. So if that has changed, they have the right within the constitution to say no. So that person should have stood and said, you are breaking article. Which article? But you can't come here with a military mindset.
On a brief question, if, sir, you'll give us a brief answer on this. Do you think those were directly intimidation tactics towards the youth? And then, do you think the youth have taken that? Do you think they feel intimidated? Because, again, we've seen that. We saw cars, of the military is passing through the streets. June last year, the same thing. We've seen now the NIS leader. Then we also seen General Kahariri. We also saw a CS Murkomen saying, those sentiments did not just come from anywhere. Do you think those are purely intimidation tactics? Same thing with abductions and everything is happening. And do you think these youth are, in Kiswahili they say, kuingia baridi. Do you think, are they picking it?
No, they are not picking it. These are just tactics. But number 2, there's nothing as bad. So let me explain it. I'm running a ministry, right? Forget even other things. I'm running a ministry. Changing lives, preaching the gospel. It's affecting the nation. I'm doing leadership forums. We have businesses and whatever. I have something to lose. Okay? There's nothing as bad as fighting with a person that has nothing to lose. These young guys have nothing to lose. It's not like they have a business like these people that they are willing to fight for. It's not like many of them have an industry. So when they go all out, they go knowing the chance of returning might not be there, and they don't care. So there is nothing as bad as fighting someone that has nothing to lose. Sometimes I go places, maybe I'm going to take a nyama choma, and then someone somewhere just does something crazy. It is wisdom for me to wake up and leave. Because when I start the fight and then something happens, the person I'm fighting with, what does he have to lose? And this is one of the things that will make you be always peaceful in your heart. Don't fight wars. You will never see it. They have something to lose. And people that have something to lose, they think about protecting, preservation. So these young guys, and I want to encourage the government, it's not that you don't have the capacity. You have the capacity. If you want to destroy the youth in their millions in a day, you can. You have the capacity. But let me tell you, you cannot change these people's mind. And the only way to change their mind is to do the right. Kenyans are not asking you to be a bad person. They're not asking you to steal. Are they complaining that you have not stolen enough? Is that what Kenyans are complaining? Kenyans are complaining that corruption.
That's true.
So change by doing what is right. And by the way, another thing, people don't complain until they first had hope. Why should I complain? If you are a thief when I employed you and you steal, I shouldn't complain. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People complain because they know, they see you are their hope.
Hope deferred make the heart weak.
Exactly. Any hope deferred, it makes the heart weary. So there is a deferred hope, that there is something they are hoping for. And instead of bringing all these platforms of power and whatever, you won't win Kenya with these kind of things. Just win Kenya by doing the right thing. I tell leaders, build an economy. We will find our own money.
Build an economy, we'll find our own money. Moving on to Haiti. I know that you have had the issue of how Kenya went to settle some of the disputes that were happening. Maybe to give some of the statistics of what is happening in Haiti. We have the first troop of Kenyan police that went to that region in March of 2024. And according to the statistic, maybe to show the magnitude of the unrest that is in Haiti, we have over 5,000 citizens that were killed in that region. As much as we have lost 2 of our police officers, which I feel it's something that we should lament and feel bad as a nation, because even 1 person is missing. We have had some comments like from Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, we had Eugene Wamalwa asking for a recall of those police officers, but the government insists we have a role to play to help a nation that is in need of people maybe to help peace. And maybe some of the achievements when the Kenya police went there, there has been a training of their police, as much as they have been under-equipped and there have been a lot of challenges because they have not met the quorum to face, you know, the gangs that are occupying 85% of Haiti, which is in Caribbean. We find that there has been at least something that has been done. We have their major airport that was seized by these gangs, but now it has been restored. Do you think as Kenyans we are acting like we are selfish? We don't want to go and help people who need, you know, to be helped at this moment? Or do you think we miscalculated and we took a step that we were not ready for it, or we are not supposed to be in it?
Everything is based on interest. There is what you call political interest, there is what you call national interest. When you say, is it army or police?
Police, they send the police unit. Yeah.
When you send the security arm of a nation to a different nation, it's no longer, it shouldn't be, although we know, we've seen especially from the Trump administration how they are using, you know, Elon Musk is always giving those records of the political interest. That people are using military for political interest. That is a fact. But I want to assume that when you send people to a different nation, the goal should be national interest. No nation protects anyone without an interest. So the question I would want to ask ourselves, are you telling me that our interest as Kenya is the peace of Haiti? Is that our #1 interest? Because if that it is, because only them know. If that is the reason, then go ahead. But the question I would like to ask, what is really the interest? I mean, how far is Haiti from Kenya?
Miles away.
Congo has the same problem.
The Caribbean, yeah. Sudan,
you
South
see,
Sudan.
actually Congo recently, not long ago, joined the East African, is it true? The East African community. The question I really want to ask, what's really the interest? And you see, you will never know, because there are things that are discussed inside hidden walls that we do not even have the capacity to answer here. So what's the interest? This is the question I would like to ask, because according to me, looking at it from a natural perspective, the interest will be Congo. The interest will be Sudan. I would channel that army to what is closer to me because of national interest. For example, the peace of Sudan means we can secure the price of oil to go way lower.
It's
and
like directly affecting.
It's directly affecting our nation. Something is being lost now. Khartoum now says that they are no longer taking tea. So the question is, what are we exporting to Haiti and what are we exporting to Khartoum? What has national interest? So I'm not saying that it's wrong to do that. I would just want to be more enlightened to know why Haiti. Is it just because we want peace? And if that is the case, then it's good, because we believe in the peace of every nation. But looking at our region, looking at the way Congo is, I mean, you've seen the fights with M23.
That's right.
Looking at our neighbor Rwanda, because M23, they are claiming is Rwandese. It's a fight between Congo and Rwanda. They are claiming it's over the minerals in that particular region. But only those leaders know. You see, leaders have a way of putting nations in turmoil. Then when you now look at Sudan, I would expect to focus so much on Sudan, because nationally speaking, we can receive a lot of interest as a nation, either by export or by import. So only they know what is the major interest of pulling this in Haiti. I congratulate our department, security department. We sympathize with the family of, was the other one that was lost found?
No, still here.
He's still missing. We are sympathizing with the family, and I would request that every time these people, or rather any person in our security wing, loses their life, they should be the family should be compensated highly, despite a compensation that, despite the government, it still goes on, because these people have lost their lives on the interest of Kenya. So you have men that have, and most of them are men. The biggest percent, over 90% of people that lose their lives are men. So when that man is removed, the government should be keen enough to follow, because you have removed breadwinning, you have removed hope for that. It's so much. So when a man goes to war, then the nation should make sure they have what it takes to protect. So in the case of Haiti, I would only speak looking at the interest, and the interest only those leaders.
No, because we have 75% actually, 3/4 of the people. This is a multinational mission. So
yeah,
it's
I know
not
there are
Kenyan.
others,
Yes.
there are other
countries.
And that's why I'm saying, what is the interest? Because
but Kenya has
like now,
75%.
3/4 of the people deployed came from Kenya.
So that's why we need to ask, what's the interest? If the interest is peace as the superior interest, then we applaud it. But you see, you cannot know, because now, what is, as I've given you the illustration, we have the same problem close to us in Sudan.
Yes.
Have we finished the problem of Sudan? Now we have is it the vice president as the president? Now they have clashed. What are we doing close? Because the Bible says, love your neighbor. Who is our neighbor in this regard?
The people from African continent.
Who is our neighbor in this regard? Is it
Sudan, Congo?
That far, or Sudan and Congo? So we would need to focus our might on what is closer to us, so that once we are done, we can even use what is closer to us to merge power and go to what. You can't win far if you have not won home. You win at home. Solid win is a win that is won at home.
Yeah, there's an article I saw where a person was saying that war is a place where young people who do not know each other and don't hate each other kill each other. based on decisions made by odd people who know each other, hate each other, but don't kill each other.
Exactly. You know, the strength of a nation is on the young people. Take out young people, destroy a nation. And so the old people know there is one thing they don't have. They don't have might. They don't have muscle, strength in their bodies. But they know who has it. So they hate each other on top there, and then they pass their hatred for us to implement it. We, below here, implement their hatred.
Yeah. And
You see the problem?
Other, yeah.
They are the ones that have a problem, but we are the implementers of their problem. And until we grow where we can walk out of implementing people's decisions on their own selfish agenda and look at things from our own reality, it might be very difficult.
Well, I hope you are loving the conversation. This is the church and the state. We are focusing on the matters that concerns us when it comes to governance and also balancing it with the word of God. We are going to take a short break, and after this we are going to take your questions. So keep sending your comments, your question. Also, we are going to have the live audience ask the question to the expert. Do not touch that dial. See you after this short break.
More so as I see the day approaching, my fire for God will never stop. Keep my fire burning. You are the delight of my heart. I stay despite it all. I serve the Lord, for I look up to the hills. My help comes from above. Restore their fire. Restore their fire. I pray for my sons and daughters. Restore their fire. Restore their fire. Energize them from the inner man. Yakabeli, Metoko behifeli, Tamaya likombe demi, Paratoko behisaya, Leto baraka vilebea, Takebembo melaka base, Zemeno lika baratoye belepikai. Oh fire, Holy Ghost fire, but everywhere. Oh fire. He's a liar. He wants to steal you from his presence so that he can have you and chew you and chew you. Do not accept it. I will be found among believers. I will be found among brethren. I will be found until that day. I will stay. I will stay. This is bigger than what I'm feeling. This is bigger than what I'm feeling. I know God wants me there, and so I will stay for generations. For God.
Welcome back. The show is the church and the state, and this chance we want to go straight on to our live audience and give them a platform to air their questions or commentaries. Remember also, you who is watching, we're also going to read your comments and your questions. So keep those comments coming and keep those comments flowing. Straight onto the live audience. Any questions or commentaries you might have? I start with you, sir. Okay, then ladies first.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I saw a clip where the president was touring Maua, that is Meru County, and he claimed he opened a sewage line, and there were pictures showing that sewage line was actually opened by the previous president. And as our expert had said that you need planning. You need planning, and this government has lacked planning. So does that show that they actually planned to fail? Because that is an embarrassment, because they were saying that they actually dug up some of those lines so that the pipes can show, so that people can see actually there's something that he had done, yet it had been there. So does this show that our leader actually planned to fail, because that is planning to fail?
Can I ask you a question kindly?
Yes.
Do you come from Meru or Maua?
No, but I have relatives there.
Oh, okay. And I'm also aware this generation has evidence. They have photos dated back then, and they have videos dated back then, so it's easy for them to see. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Yes?
My name is Mark. My question goes to Bishop. It's basically something that has been happening when he was in that trip, and so many other times even around the country. We have the commissioning of classrooms block Narumoru. That was 2 days ago. Then 2 days ago again, he launched laying of the foundation stone for the construction of classroom blocks, Nanyuki, and he has been doing that. I think, I don't know, I think that is not supposed to be maybe a role of the president. It's supposed to be of a minor
leader, probably a member of parliament.
Probably a member of parliament. My own thinking. Maybe Bishop will, I believe he has a better...
That's a very intriguing question.
It is.
And yeah.
Because it shows Kenyans are watching, and you're just not launching projects, but we see the level of projects you're launching.
And again, it's like the president loves, he has gotten into that place where he has decided to just be, I had somebody saying that he is mentally not okay maybe.
Allow me, we've had your question, sir. Allow me to take the next question. I like the fact that Kenyans see and the kind of projects that are being launched. Does it take a whole president to come in and launch a classroom, or could the area MP or area MCA do that launching? Any other question from the live audience?
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
I would love to throw a question to our bishop. It's about, he talked about planning. And as we're heading to the 2027 election, I would want to ask, since the prior, like the government that is in right now, that is our leader, President William Ruto, what he's giving us right now is not in accordance to what was in the manifesto. Maybe he might, time is not yet done, maybe he might do those things in the years remaining, but according to what we have seen right now, it's not aligning to it. And if I can just go back to the word of the Lord, in 1 John it says, Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world, and by this you know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, and every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you heard was coming, and now is in the world already. The Apostle John was teaching men how to really know what spirit is true and what spirit is false. So my question now comes to, in the 2027 election, how will we test the spirit, but not as per spiritually, but according to the works that have been shown? Because I believe when most of us were choosing President William Samoei Ruto, we believed in the manifesto, yet we had not yet seen what he had done. It was a believing from what was given, but right now what we are feeding is not what was written down. So how will we choose the next president? And he will still come with a manifesto that will be pleasing. How will we manage to know that this is actually the president that we will have to choose? Or that's
so
my
avoid
question.
repeating a similar mistake.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, sir.
My name is Kuria Kenjeku, from the plateaus of Lari under the hills of Kereita. I come from a locality known as Magina. The people of Lari, aka the Larians, are watching somewhere and they send me their greetings. To continue, the Larians, to say, are writing a book known as Life After 2027. Sorry. And in that, the content comes as a reference from the church and state. We have seen programs around the world and everywhere, but they have been throwing questions, magnifying and concentrating on the questions. But on my surprise, the church and state is the only platform whereby we get to find solution, strategies, proper planning, and also the future of it, and balancing in both ends. I also have something else. That was a compliment. I also have something from the people of Larians, is to air out an awareness. We are the greatest producer of kills, or what we call in Kiswahili Sukuma Wiki, speaking of the tea. Yeah, if you are looking for Sukuma Wiki, Larry is the place. Thank you.
Sir, you really have marketed where you're from. If you ever win an election or
you should be an ambassador of. If Larry would do you a disservice,
if he wins the seat, sir,
if you are not the president of Larry or a legal representative of that university, so please, Larry, wherever that university is, this should be your president. He has represented you well.
Larry is a constituency. In fact, they are failing.
It's not a university.
Yeah, Larry is a constituency. In fact, they are failing. Even ourselves, we say we come from Lemuru or Naivasha because they have failed. We cannot know even people from elsewhere can't even find us or trace us because they have completely failed. That's why we are writing a book called Life After 2027.
You know, I normally hear you say. Yes, Larry University. I normally think it's like a university.
No, Luxa is a Larry University and Colleges Student Association. It's a youth leadership of.
Hey, may you become the member of parliament of Larry.
They were suggesting so, but it's like they had feeded me with a bigger portion, and I prefer where my capacity can bear. An MCA. Kijabi, you are coming. Yes.
Let me start by answering the sister in green, my good friend. The mistake is the only way to know before I even address the mistake is one. The Bible says if you want to know, you will know them by their fruit. To know a person is the fruit they produce. So next time, let us look at the fruit. If they don't have a fruit to that level, if they have built nothing, they should never be given an opportunity to serve anything. So the only way, biblically, is if you want to know them, you can't know a person without their fruit. So we will not be ignorant at any one point to explain that we can know a person outside a fruit. So the only way is to discover the fruit. Is there love, joy? Are they patient? Are they peaceful? Or they like war? Gentle, kind, self-control, because that's where corruption comes in. You can't control yourself when you see money. The only way to deal with corruption is control, self-control. That this money is for education. Take it to education. This money is for health. Take it to the health department. Self-control is what fights corruption. Because you just can't control yourself when you see money. You want it all. You want the cars. You want the houses. So how we will know them is by their fruit. What have they produced before? We will gauge them by that fruit. And apparently, as we are going, that is the only way out, because the Bible did not say you know them by what they say, but you know them by what they produce. So our leader, the next leader, must be a producer, not a speaker of the National Assembly, and I mean the nation. You know, we have so many speakers that come and speak to the nation. Then we begin to focus on what they are saying rather than what they are doing. That's number one.
The next question.
My brother here has asked a question in regards to
the president's launching.
The president's launching. It's something that the president should not even be discussing. Like surely, sasa our president akiongea mashini ya chapo, surely Chapo.
Because, sir, sorry to cut you.
Wait first, Chapo. Okay. You in your mouth. You in your mouth. Have you ever known there's a Chapo machine?
No.
That's not a conversation. It's not a need to us. We have, and in fact, for me, I believe that Kambas are the best chapati cooking makers in the nation. If you come from the Kambaland, if you are a man and you're not married and you just want to marry, and you like chapo, for lack of a better reason,
you recommend?
I recommend Kambas. So we are not short of Kambas. They cook food that you can be so amazed at the food these people cook. Generally speaking, the food they cook is amazing. So there are things we should not be involved in. Your docket creates your lifestyle. So there are things I can't say because of the virtue of the fact of where I'm standing. I'm standing as a pastor of Share the Love Center. So there are things you can say, but I cannot say. Is it because I don't have a mouth? No. At this particular place I'm standing, it should not be within my jurisdiction to do some things. Like now, I have noticed that today we have staff, so most of the time, they pass by my office to go and take lunch at the kitchen. So I'm thinking, now I'm involved, nyanya is how much, tomato is how much is onion. I just see food. What I do is that I provide what is needed for the food to be, but it's not in my jurisdiction to see me in the market. People are going to steal from me, so I want to buy nyanya. For what reason? It's the same case with the leader of a nation. I encourage every leader, do according to what is within your jurisdiction. Don't do under things and don't do over things. So that's what I believe. There is a possibility that you will find us as leaders involved in things for political mileage, not necessarily to prove labor that you're working on behalf of the people. That's that. My brother spoke about first of all, the people of Lari. You say that it's a constituency.
Yeah.
We salute the people of Lari constituency. I'll come there to preach the gospel and empower people financially if you invite me. So I'll come to Lari. How far is Lari? It's which county? Kiambu County. So we are coming to Lari. So Larians be Larified. So the question that he was asking in regards to, I'm trying to remember the exact thing. I remember the context, but the exact thing. What was your statement, my brother? What did you mention in your context?
Or the church and state.
Yeah. That is the only platform, according to you, that is addressing this thing. That should not be the case. It's the work of every Kenyan to address problems. But if you leave it to those people, then you have a people led to any direction that the leader wants. Right now, when you leave here, are you entering the car to go to Nairobi? Why? Destination is known. So Kenya, when destination is known, when you know where you want to take Kenya, you'll have a better nation. My sister, what was your address?
The Siwa.
Yeah.
They said they were launching the Siwa.
The Siwa line.
At Maua, but evidence shows that Siwa was launched before by the former president.
It's not the first time that they are relaunching what they had launched. Alternatively, it's not the first time that they know that someone is coming here, so they just go. Like there's a time I saw, I don't know which picture, a video or a picture of a water boozer. I think the leader was coming there to launch something concerning water. So the night before, the water boozer was seen putting water in the tank.
What a shame.
Can you imagine? It's seen putting water in the tank, so that now when he comes to open down here, he thinks that borehole has pumped water up there. So all these things, we are used to them. It's political things. I would encourage people, before you say you are launching something, please, our leaders, launch that thing. Kenyans are in need of roads. Launch the road. Do it. Kenyans are in need of medical facilities. When you launch, follow through and do it. We'll have a better nation.
Amen. Wow. Let us go to the online questions. Maybe you can give us. We have a person asking about the booing that happened today I think he's talking of Nyandera. What does this mean for 2027 elections? Are we witnessing the beginning of major political realignment? And will the national leaders take this feedback seriously, or will they dismiss it as political noise?
I will answer that with a Bible verse which is found in 1 Timothy, because our leaders are used to this, and some of them even now are sitting at places and say, I ignore those ones. I hear even pastors are calling these young people Akora.
That's true.
1 Timothy 4:12. Let me remind our leaders, remind our pastors what is really happening to this nation. 1 Timothy 4:12. Can you read it? Let no one despise your youth, because during your youth time, people despise you. What do you know? What can you tell us? You can't run a nation. You will even hear someone saying, Kenya cannot be run by a youth. Who said? Who said? Those degrees they have, what have they managed? I thought when you have a degree, you should not be corrupt. So what is the beauty of a degree? When we are still fighting for a type of Kenya that we shouldn't. We should be having that Kenya. So what is the purpose of a degree?
Doesn't make sense.
Let no one despise your youth. But he says, but be an example. This is to the youth, I want to tell you, youth. Be an example to believers in word, in conduct, in love, in spirit, in faith, and in purity. Young leaders, or rather, dear young Kenyans, before you do anything, make sure the word of God is inside of you. Make sure you have conduct, how to conduct yourself to display that thing. Don't go and fight someone and claim haki yetu. Don't go and break down a shop and say it's all right. You can't do that. Conduct. Conduct yourself in a manner superior to what you're fighting. In love, do it from a point of love, that you want to see a better Kenya. You want to see better Kenyans. In spirit, meaning that we are connected by the Spirit of God. In faith, meaning that we have the same belief. And in purity, meaning that there is no unholiness, corruption, darkness involved in it. So it is possible that, and I want to tell this to the older generation, do not despise these youths. Don't despise what they are saying. Don't despise their cries. It's foolishness for any leader to despise people on their age. If you give these youths an opportunity, they will run this nation. Don't assume that just because you are old, you are aware. Can I repeat my statement? Don't assume that just because you are old, you are aware. You might be old and you're not even aware what is happening. We saw a leader saying that bread is 500. He is old, but he's not aware. These young people are aware of the Kenya they are looking for. And for lack of a better word, I mean, these leaders, they are 60 and above. In 40 years, most of them will be gone. 90-something% of them.
Right.
But the young people, all things held constant in terms of age, 40 years from now, the Gen Z that's 20 will be 60.
That's right.
The one that's 25 will be 65. The one that's 30 will be 70. So you'll be gone. You'll have the Kenya you are creating, you will not live to eat from it. These young people are fighting for a Kenya that they will live. They have so many years to live to eat from it. Excuse me, give them an opportunity. Don't despise them. Who said a youth cannot be a president in this nation? Who said it? Who said it? Who said the experience is the best teacher? They have so much experience and they have not been taught how to deal with corruption. If it's about age, should Kenya be the way it is? We have leaders that are above 60, 50, 70 in government. How comes we are in this situation? So don't elect people based on how old they are. Do they have these 6 elements? Number 1, believers in word. Number 2, they have good conduct. Number 3, they love. Number 4, they are born of the Spirit. Number 5, they are in the faith. That means salvation, Christianity. Number 6, they have pure hearts. This is what you use. And if a person that's 35 years, 36 years has this category, or rather has these credentials, they can be the president of this nation. I no longer believe degrees. I no longer believe them. Because if Kenya would have changed by degrees, we have so many degrees, but yet the nation cannot change. It's about having a pure heart. That why are you running for leadership? I have a pure heart. But I repeat, you can never fight what you are part of.
Wow. Next question. You cannot fight what you're part of. Yes, we have a question asking, why are Mount Kenya residents openly rejecting certain politicians? Is this a sign of failed leadership or shifting political dynamics? And does being booed indicate a loss of trust, or is it just a sign of political functionalism?
You see, a politician is not like a president, or rather an ambassador. A politician is a representative of a specific people within a specific area. So there is what that politician must adhere to in the interest of those people that elected him. So when those people feel like you have not represented us on our account, that you are going, for example, I'm elected here and I'm representing the people of, for example, Kakamega. It's not that they are not human beings, but I was not elected to represent them. The politicians should understand that your job is to express the need of the people that elected you, not the president you are under. In fact, the president of the politician, especially the member of parliament, is the people. Those are the people that made you. So when you go and you forget to represent their interests, then this is what happens. So this is a proof of failed interest by the leaders to their people.
Wow. We have the next question. But why is the government prioritizing Haiti when part of Kenya like North Rift, Lamu and Nairobi face serious security threats? What is the government's plan to rescue or even evacuate officers in case of a crisis?
Well, there is a national part of it that you must, like for example, there are nations within the sphere of NATO, there are nations within the sphere of Brexit. I think South Africa is one of them, if I'm not wrong. Brexit. So there is what you call national engagements in specific platforms, and you cannot stop Kenya from being part of them. It's just like, for example, there is money that, like the AU, there is money that Kenya must contribute to that body that it is in, and it's not a Kenyan issue, it's a global issue. Trump the other day was complaining that you have nations that are not contributing to the degree they should, and Trump found out that he's the US is contributing more than other nations, and it's not fair. And he mentioned France, and he said that they should, I think France, and they should up their game and things like that. So there is that national aspect that we should not ignore of being part of what is happening globally, that the nation is, that there is that signing that a nation must participate. In Kenya's example is like the AU, which is the African Union. So there is a part that Kenya plays. In the case of Haiti, I'm not really sure, and that's why I'm saying the interest there, only those people can tell us. Why did we fly to Haiti? Only they know. Is it a good thing? It's not bad, because we want to bring help to a part of our brothers in that region. But regionally speaking, is it to, what is the interest? And that's why I would really want to ask a question when I get an opportunity one day to ask the president, what's the interest of bringing peace to those people?
Wow. What is the interest? I like the discussion we've had today, and the reason why is people are not just clapping for the launching, but they're questioning the kind of launching. They can see the kind of launching. And we can see that from the live audience and also from the audience back at home. But allow us to go and to take the news. We are on to the news. Welcome back and on to the world news. Chaos in Haiti. 2 Kenyan police officers in Haiti have been seriously injured in clashes with gangs over the past week. Having frequent attacks, the casualties are increasingly worrying. In June 2024, Kenya first deployed officers to the Multinational Security Support MSS mission, which has 1,000 security personnel, 3/4 being from the Kenyan soil. The mission aimed at restoring enough security for Haiti, have a restraint on the escalating gang violence in Haiti. And if we have a short video for that.
Police officers in Haiti were seriously injured in gang clashes over the past week, 3 officers told Reuters. And that's adding to the mission's growing list of casualties as it comes under increasingly frequent attack. Kenya first deployed officers to the Multinational Security Support Mission last June. The mission aims to restore enough security in Haiti to hold elections by February 2026. It has faced morale issues and uncertainty regarding expansion, and it suffered its first fatality in February. The injuries occurred during routine patrols near Port-au-Prince, which is mostly controlled by heavily armed gangs. The 3 officers also reported increasingly frequent attacks and inadequate equipment. A mission spokesperson confirmed 2 officers had been evacuated to the Dominican Republic for medical care and said that, quote, as in any mission, casualties are sometimes unavoidable.
Wow. Moving to Namibia, where we find a young man by the name Simon Petras, who is a brilliant teenager from Namibia who has developed a SIM-free phone. The phone uses radio frequencies that makes calls without needing airtime or even traditional network connection, offering a vital solution for rural areas with poor connection. He previously created a seed dryer cooler in 2015, then a TV that accessed DSTV channels for free in 2022. We hope that some minds like Petra's are going to be absorbed into the market to become the hope of
That's a very brilliant
Africa.
mind.
It is.
On to the next news, that is the business news. Tullow writes off. The British oil explorer Tullow Oil has written off 18.8 billion Kenya shillings from its Kenyan assets. This is a signal for its concern, deepening pessimism over its prospects of advancing the Takana oil project to commercial exploitation. The impairments reflect uncertainty about the company receiving and finalizing an acceptable offer from a strategic investor, obtaining financing for the project, and getting the government to deliver on the required infrastructure and fiscal terms to make the project. We still mine, huh?
Yeah.
Sometimes we tend to forget.
Yeah, we move to sport news, where we have 2-time champion, that is just at 15 years old, the Kenyan 2-time national champion and Motorcycle Sports Federation of Kenya, that is MSFK, Atete Benzinge secured a 3rd place finish at the International Federation of Motorcycling, that is FIM, African Motocross of African Nation, that is MXON, in Marrakech, that is Morocco. And
onto the church events and announcements. In Share the Love Arena, join us for the Praying Generation this Saturday and Sunday at 3 p.m. as Teacher John CW together with Rev Eva CW aligns us to a feast that has been prepared for us to endlessly fly on eagle's wings through prayer. Heaven awaits for your voice. This is the Praying Generation this Saturday and Sunday at Share the Love Center at Kenol. Karibuni.
Karibuni sana. Then again in Share the Love Arena, we have Boot Camp Edition 3, which is here with us. We have our expert teacher John CW arrays fun activities which are embedded in the word that is Bible study and prayers, to impact and engage our youth and teens on having a firm and good foundation in Christ. And this is starting coming week, that is from 6th to 12th April. Register early as you can. This is from Sunday, I think, through Saturday. And actually on this, there has been a link that is attached on Overflowing Wisdom. You're going to find flash sale. If you would love to register at a discounted price, as we continue with this show, you can go to Overflowing Wisdom, click on that link, then you're going to get a discounted fee for the bootcamp. See you there.
The Shabak Conference. Teacher John CW together with Rev Eva CW and Minister Kemblod and the Agape Band light up the Easter season with praise as of 18th to 21st April. Join us on site and the entry is absolutely free. This is to happen at Kenol Share the Love Center from 18th to 21st April, the Shabak Conference. Looking forward to that. I personally am looking forward to that.
You want to dance?
I think I have both left feet. But we will dance for the Lord.
For God's sake, yeah. Then we have in Rock Tabernacle, that is Northern Bypass. Next to Shell, that is Windsor. We have Cover Kenya, that is happening on 26th April, where we have Minister B. Ojumu going to Kenya or coming to Kenya for Cover Experience. Get ready for greater supernatural encounter that is starting at 10 a.m. Prepare your vessel. So again, the venue has changed to Ruach Tabernacle, Northern Bypass, next to Shell.
And on to the next, at All Saints Cathedral. Do we have a purpose? If we do, what is it? How can we know our purpose in life? Gentlemen, on the 26th of April, come, let us fellowship together in prayer, word, and fellowship. That is at All Saints Cathedral, the Kingdom Man. And that is the last from the church events?
From the church event. Maybe if we may have our expert, if you'd love to speak something on the news, even as you give us your parting shots.
Well, it's just to welcome all of you to, we have a boot camp coming in, and then that is on the 6th to the 12th. Please register. It's very important because we normally have a lot of people. To the young people and those that are young at heart at the same time. So I welcome you to boot camp. I also welcome you to Shabak, which will be from the 18th. That is, you can clearly see you have Eva CW from Kenya, you have Minister Kemilod from Nigeria, and then you have the famous band, Agape Gospel Band from Tanzania. You're going to be having an awesome time from the 18th to the 21st, to the glory of God. And then we have any other forgotten from us?
Yes, we have.
Were they three?
Yes.
Shabak.
Yes. Prayer Generation.
And then we have Prayer Generation this weekend.
This weekend.
So welcome. I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. Every blessing.
Any parting shots, sir?
Beyond desire, make sure you have what it takes to change. Don't just shout, but have what it takes to change. Nothing changes because you shout. Everything changes because you have what it takes to make it change. So, beyond the shouting, let's get to the doing.
And that is it from our today's episode of the Church and the State. Remember to keep the conversation flowing on our social media platforms. We will be back next week on Thursday. Here, same place, same time. Do not touch the dial.